One coat, one drop, $20 million gone. That's what happened at the 2025 Grammys. Bianca Censori walked onto one of the most watched red carpets in entertainment, dropped a fur coat, and revealed a completely sheer gown underneath. Nothing hidden, nothing left to imagination. The most naked anyone has ever been at that event in its entire history. The internet exploded within minutes. Every platform, every blog, every entertainment account on Earth was running the image by the time the ceremony even started inside. And somewhere in Tokyo, a $20 million deal started falling apart. This is the story of what that moment actually cost. Not just the headlines, not just the think pieces about Kanye controlling his wife. The real financial damage that nobody was talking about while everyone was busy sharing the photos and arguing about who was responsible for what ended up on that red carpet. Kanye West had been negotiating a performance deal to play the Tokyo Dome. For anyone who doesn't know what that means, the Tokyo Dome holds around 55,000 people. It is one of the most prestigious concert venues in the world. Artists who play there are not just successful, they are globally significant. It's a building that carries cultural weight in a way that very few venues on Earth do. Playing the Tokyo Dome isn't just a concert booking, it's a statement about where you sit in the global hierarchy of music. The deal was reportedly worth $20 million, and it was moving forward. Conversations were happening, details were being worked out. For an artist who had lost major partnerships over the previous few years, this was the kind of deal that signals a return, a serious, internationally significant return. Until the Grammys happened. Japan has a specific relationship with public decency that is genuinely different from the United States. This isn't a judgment, it's a cultural reality that anyone doing business there understands going in. What gets a standing ovation on an American red carpet can simultaneously be categorized as legally and socially unacceptable in a country with different public standards around nudity and exposure. Japan takes those standards seriously, not just socially, but institutionally. Venues, sponsors, government bodies involved in large-scale public events, they all operate within those norms. They have to. It's not optional for them the way it might feel optional in Los Angeles. And Bianca Censori at the 2025 Grammys was not operating within those norms by any definition. The moment those images went global, they went to Tokyo too. They went to the desks of the people who were in the middle of finalizing a 55,000-seat concert. And the conversation that had been about logistics and production and ticket sales suddenly became a conversation about whether this was an association they could afford to have. Whether attaching their venue, their sponsors, their reputation to Kanye West right now was a risk that made any sense at all. It didn't. The deal collapsed. $20 million gone before a single ticket was sold, before a single production call happened, before anyone in Japan ever got to hear what a Kanye West show at the Tokyo Dome would have sounded like. Now here's where it gets more complicated, because the easy narrative is that Bianca did something reckless and Kanye paid the price for it. But that narrative requires you to believe that Bianca Censori operates independently of Kanye West, and everything that has been publicly documented about their relationship suggests the opposite is true. Kanye is an architect by training and by obsession. Bianca is a trained architect who worked for his company Yeezy before they got together. The aesthetic choices in their public appearances have been consistent and deliberate from the beginning. The barely there outfits, the covered faces, the silence from Bianca in public settings, the way they move together like a single curated image rather than two people just showing up somewhere. Every element of how they present themselves has the fingerprints of someone who thinks in design terms, who understands that image is intentional, who has spent his entire career treating his own life as an ongoing art project with a specific vision behind every move. The idea that Bianca walked onto that Grammy red carpet and dropped that coat without Kanye knowing exactly what was going to happen is very difficult to take seriously. Which means if the Tokyo deal collapsed because of that moment, Kanye didn't lose $20 million because of something that happened to him. He potentially lost $20 million because of a choice. A deliberate, considered, fully intentional creative choice that he decided was worth making, regardless of what it would cost financially on the other side. And that reframes the entire story completely. Because Kanye West has a very long and very documented history of making decisions that cost him enormous amounts of money in order to make a point. He lost his Adidas deal, reportedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars, because of public statements he refused to walk back. He has walked away from opportunities, burned relationships, torched partnerships that most artists would have protected at all costs, all in service of whatever he was trying to express at that specific moment in time. The financial consequences have never reliably stopped him from doing the thing he decided he needed to do. $20 million from Tokyo is not small, but it is also not the first time Kanye has watched a massive sum of money leave because he refused to operate within the comfort zone of the people holding it. The question nobody is really asking is what the point was this time. What was the Grammy moment supposed to communicate? Because if it was deliberate, and everything points toward deliberate, then there was an intended message underneath the sheer fabric and the dropped coat. Provocation purely for its own sake is possible with Kanye. It always has been. But so is something more specific. Defiance of an industry that had spent years trying to sideline him. A statement about creative freedom dressed up as a red carpet appearance. A reminder that even after everything, the lost deals, the public meltdowns, the cancelled partnerships, he still has the ability to make the entire world stop and look. Whether the message landed the way he intended is a separate question. What actually landed was the image, and the image cost him Tokyo. What makes this whole story sit uncomfortably is the part that keeps getting pushed to the side. The part about Bianca herself. Because whatever the intent behind that moment was, artistic, provocative, a joint decision between two people who see the world through the same design lens, she is the one whose body was on display. She is the one whose image went everywhere. She is the one who became the subject of every uncomfortable conversation about power and control and what it actually means to be inside that marriage. And she has said nothing, publicly, about any of it. The silence from Bianca Censori has become its own story running underneath this one for a long time now. People who are concerned about her point to that silence as something troubling. People who defend them say she is a grown adult making her own fully informed choices and the public has no right to project a narrative onto her life. That debate has been running since they first went public together, and it is nowhere close to being resolved. What is not up for debate is the financial reality. After the Grammys, $20 million from the Tokyo Dome deal disappeared. Whatever Kanye was trying to say with that red carpet moment, the people in Tokyo heard something entirely different. They heard a liability. They calculated the risk, and they walked away from it without looking back. The coat dropped, the deal died, and Kanye West, the man who has never once in his career let money be the thing that changes his mind, is still exactly where he decided to be. Subscribe to Weirdly Interesting right now. We cover the stories behind the stories that everyone else stops at the headline. And drop a comment below. Do you think Kanye knew exactly what that Grammy moment would cost him, or did he genuinely not see it coming?